All right. I wanted to do this one live because I'm not sure exactly how long I'm going to ramble on. So this is the second half of 2004, uh, going through difficult times, trying to find work and back in those days. So if you go back to 2003, I did a Origin of Drake. Now this is I revised the Outcasts, called them the Outcasters, and I gave them natural clothes and things. So um, I'm going to zoom in a bit and kind of show you what these characters are all about. So this is the cover to the Origin of Drake. It's a little comic book I made. I didn't finish it completely, but you can still understand it. So here you have Rye, Gino, Rosemary, and Jorge, who are there for dramatic purposes. And there's Jerry the Reaper. You can see his just a little bit of his face. And here's Drake holding his girlfriend Missy in the rain. So it's always a symbolic gesture. This is a complete story, so you're going to see all of it. Okay. So here we have, this is page one. Drake's father has passed away. Okay, so here you see Drake as a toddler with his parents. Never really show their face. Um, this is supposed to be August 16th, 1992. So Drake gives a eulogy. I never gave a eulogy for my pop who passed away years ago. Actually, he died in 2002. Um, so, Drake is giving some sort of nice eulogy. Uh, he puts flowers on the casket, and there is Jerry before he becomes the monster. So, this is based on my cousin Gabriel. Now, I admit this in case any family members see this because I just don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. You know, I'm sure his mom, my aunt, my tia, initial reaction would be, well, I'll probably sue him for talking crap about my son. But you know what? Your son was a bad person. I'm sorry. You want to take me to court? You can do that. But let me tell you this: if the court finds that you're wasting their time, they can make you pay them back in costs. So, and when I create characters, we always go by the adage of all characters similar to people living or dead is a coincidence. Okay? So that's it. But of course, my admission is not making a coincidence, is it? But you know what? I don't give a fuck. So I don't give a shit. So this is the story I wrote, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm done caring what people think because people don't care what I think. Anyway, so Drake and Jerry. So Drake is doing his homework, whatever that means, and you know his mom talks to him, right? So Drake at this point is like 14 years old. Um, she's been depressed, and so she tells her son that, she's been taking drugs for depression. Can't get that focus. There we go. Sorry about that. So she talks to him about her depression. Um, she's suicidal. She's going to go to rehab. This is just an excuse to get Drake's mom out of the picture. Now, in real life, my mom was depressed for a lot of reasons. I won't go into those, but there were things she was depressed about. In some ways, she was. But that's sort of those things I'll keep private to myself for now. But we've had family issues, so I'm not going to really, like I said. This is, let's see where we're at. Page three. Um, so page three, we're into Drake going to, his cousin's house. So Sophie is Drake's mom's sister, his aunt. Um, this is kind of based on the old house my aunt and her family, my tia, lived in. Um, so there's the uncle who passed away recently, a couple of years ago, actually. And you remember your favorite uncle, huh? You remember me, right? My uncle in real life was somebody who, my tío beat up my tia, okay? He used her as a punching bag. Now, my tia will deny this because she doesn't want anything bad to be said, but my uncle did beat up my aunt. He beat up his wife, and he would cheat on her, or at least he attempted to cheat on her. And she had that same problem with her first husband. So Pedro here is based on my real uncle who was a cheater and a liar. And when he died, he didn't leave any money for my aunt. It was a terrible thing. Um, and I remember my mom told me this story. and I'll admit this, when my cousin Gabriel, who Jerry is based on, here's Jerry here, okay? When my cousin Gabriel was alive, he had hemophilia, and his dad, the uncle here that this fictional character is based on, he was somebody who would tell everybody that his son was diseased and had to be strapped, and he wanted to chain him to a bed so that he would never get out, and he would tell people he was ashamed of his son. But it's like, this was a person that you were willing to bring into this world. You chose Gabriel. In real life, Gabriel did not ask to be here, but you put him in this world. Now, the character of Jerry, the fictional character, is very similar to Gabriel. Like, he was brought into this world, and he's a hardcore thug. I don't know for sure that my cousin Gabriel was a thug, but I'm sure that he got himself into some trouble. That I do know. So Drake and Jerry are meeting for the first time, or in a long time, since the funeral. And Drake is naive. He's trying to be nice to his cousin. His cousin doesn't give a shit. He's smoking a joint. He's like, I don't give a shit about anything. So he slaps Drake around to put him in his place. Okay? And Drake is angry at his cousin. His cousin tells him off. Okay? He's telling him, I don't like him with faggots like you tell me how stupid I am. I don't like you tell me shit. You're going to do what I tell you. Okay? Now, that was based on my cousin Gabriel and I not getting along. He roughed me up. He tried to hit me. He never did. But he always caused trouble for me. Okay? He always caused trouble for me growing up as a kid. Now, we never spoke to each other again, not even till his death. But when I drew these two characters out, it was clear to me when I was going to do the origin of Drake, one of my 5 main characters here, I wanted to be dark. I wanted it to be moody. I wanted it to be that Drake was the good guy and Jerry was the bad guy. Jerry was like, he looked like Drake, but he was like the opposite, the evil doppelganger clone. So Jerry is pushing Drake around because Drake doesn't have any balls to tell him to go fuck himself. But Drake wouldn't do anything because it's Jerry's house and he's going to tell him off. Okay? So, I can't even get this thing in fucking focus. Sorry about that. It's going to be out of focus, but I'm trying to show, because it's a comic book, I have to show you things the way I have to show you things. So here's the ant, and here's Jerry, and here's Drake. And Jerry's supposed to behave himself, but he doesn't give a shit. Like, he'll talk back to his mom, he'll pop his lips, go, I don't give a shit, I don't care, I don't know, I don't care. Like, he's all bad and shit. He's all hardcore and shit. He's all perfect and shit. He can do anything. That's, in my real life, it wasn't just my cousin Gabriel. It was my aunt, my father, my mother, everybody niggerized, wetbackized, Japised my ass. I was the Jew going up against Hitler, okay? So everybody flaunted their narcissism in my face. So to me, Jerry was no different. The fictional character was no different. He was based on somebody. I showed these comic strips to a lot of people, and they hated Jerry. But I said, but isn't it true there are people like this in real life? I'm like, it would be, if you don't like this character of Jerry, I understand. I am with you. But if you're going to tell me that it's completely unnecessary, I would tell you to go fuck yourself. Because there are real people like this. People we have no control over. People who go out of their way to be narcissistic assholes. Whether they're gangbangers, whether they're drug addicts, drug dealers, corporate CEOs, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, maybe our president, maybe not. I think Donald Trump is the least of our problems right now. We just got to worry about ourselves and each other, taking care of ourselves. So anyway, Drake trips and falls on his face, and here we got all the kids. Now, these are based on the kids I drew before in the original version of Drake. The ones who killed Missy with a crossbow. But you're going to see who really kills Missy in this one. So here we got Jerry laughing at Drake. So Drake has a bad day at school. This is his first day at school. This is based on a school I went to, okay? That had nothing but bungalows. And the school I went to was the size of a parking lot. Okay? So Drake gets up from falling down. He sees somebody. He sees this girl. This is Missy. So she looks sad. She has this Asian kind of Latina look. I never really defined her race. I wanted her to be something race ambiguous, I guess you could say. I didn't want her to have a defined race. But she's shy. She doesn't talk to Drake. Um, but later on in class, I actually, is this, let me see, hold on, let me check to make sure. Actually, this is a month later. This is a month later. So he's like, here's Jerry, okay? Now, I don't know if Gabriel, I think Gabriel would try to talk. If I fell in love with a girl at school, it's possible Gabriel would probably have gotten in the way. And I don't think he would have gotten in the way because he wanted the girl. I think he would do it to hurt my feelings because he was that kind of person. But that's speculation. He never really did that kind of thing, but I based it on my fears. So this is February 14th. This is when on Valentine's Day, kids give each other the other kids in school Valentines, right? I remember those days. So Jerry's trying to offer himself to Missy, and Missy's not having it. Okay, so here's Drake, nice kid that he is, nice stupid kid that he is. And there's just tension. There's tension between the two. And here are the kids from the original comic strip that I put in here. Missy's quiet. Drake is talking to his friends. They're having a conversation that means absolutely nothing. That's just the way it is. Let's see if we can do this. This is blurry as shit. Hold on. I try to focus. I try to do this right. I'm gonna bring this over here so that you can see what the fuck I'm doing. Okay. So okay. I think that looks better. So Drake sees that Missy's not talking to him. He tries to she tries to appeal to her. She's not having it. In my real life, I try to appeal to girls a little bit. Let's see if I can fix that. So, it was hard for me to talk to girls. Even when I was 13, 14. I went to an all-boys school for most of my high school years, so I couldn't get that far. I didn't have a chance, and I didn't have a chance anyway. So Missy's ignoring Drake again, but then we come upon a car coming towards her. And why don't I have it? Okay, so stupid ass me, either I don't have that part. I could have sworn on your mama's vagina I have it. So anyway, I don't have it, and I do have it. I'll show you this one again, but let me see if I have it again. Drake saves her life, but let me see if I can find the goddamn comic page. Yeah, I'm still looking for it. Hold on one second. I'm sure I'll find it before it gets dark. I am not sure what happened to that comic page. That's pissing me off. Like, to no end, it is pissing me off. I thought I saw it, like, yesterday as I was going through all my stuff. Yeah, it's not in here. I don't see it in this mess. I could have sworn I had it. Okay, I'm just going to have to explain it to you, since for some shit-ass butt-fucked reason, I don't seem to have it. Okay, so Drake saves Missy from the car. Missy breaks down into tears, and she warms up to Drake, and they go on a date. Here is the baseball player, and he gets a foul ball. Drake gives Missy the ball. You should have the ball autographed. Isn't that nice? So she kisses the ball. Her lip print is on the ball, baseball. I wish If girls did that for guys, you think guys would be MGTOW? No. So here we have December 8th. Missy talks to Drake about her parents and why she was shy. Ever since we moved from Hollywood, they would fight. Movie could be traumatic for you. Did your dad hit your mom? Oh no, they had so many verbal disputes. So there's a nice little scene based on nothing. Hold on, we're gonna get there. Why is my stuff all over the place? Okay, I don't think I saw that comic page. But basically, Drake and Missy kiss, and they Jerry sees this. Jerry sees this from far away, and so Jerry's like spying on Drake to see what's going on, and his jefe for his gang, Adolfo, tells him, don't worry about your cousin. So Jerry doesn't, so they move on, and this is the next part. Now from this point onward, I do it in black and white. I got lazy. I got tired of doing this. I got tired of this. I mean, it was just a lot of work doing a comic book, okay? But, I mean, the whole story is finished. So let's see if we can get it back in focus. I don't think it's going to be in focus. I think it's not going to be in focus. Okay, so here we have Caesar Cruz, another important character I created. Mucho tiempo no veo, long time no see. I don't think I wrote this great. Escuchan si pagan por los daños de mi coche que Dopey hizo. I think what I'm trying to say in Spanish is, listen, if you pay for the damages to the car Dopey made, and you can go home. And he says, no le creo. We don't think so. Es cualquiera hacemos o caemos, seeing or to do, or you do or you die. I think that's what it is. Ya me gusta como manejas tu. Now I like how you handle your business. And they go into a shootout. Here's Jerry shooting it out with his friends. This is Melon, and this is, I think it's, no, this is Melon, and this, I don't remember. This is his Peanut and Melon. These are his gangster friends. Jerry is called the Reaper as his gangster name. Anyway. So here's this shootout. This is a gangster shootout that involves just Jerry. And Drake and Missy are nearby. We don't see them back yet. So, tranquilo, fat cat. Muriere Caesar Cruz. Me das un minuto, gordo. Give me a minute. So some of my Spanish worked, some of it didn't work. This is based on an actor who was a thug. A real life actor. I won't say which actor it is. But he's doing a revival of an old 80s show. Anyway, this actor shoots Jerry both in the hands, or the wrists, actually. Dang shit ass motherfucker. You're lucky we're both out of caps, bitch. Come on, clowner, let's jam. So they shoot at Jerry. Jerry's got bloody wrists. Here you got a guy driving a gasoline truck, and he is a Mexico, like Mexico, anyway. So, yeah, he leaves the truck there. Whatever, that happens, this one. 20 minutes later, Jerry's bandaging up his arms, and he can hear Drake and Missy nearby in the rain, okay? So Drake is giving her a promise ring. So look how cute this couple looks, right? No problem, right? Everything looks so perfect. It's such a Disney movie. There's nothing wrong with this. In fact, everything looks, I mean, you look at these two people, they look like the perfect couple. Girls would like take a vibrator between their thighs thinking about how wonderful this couple is, right? But of course, that's not how life really is it? Because there's always somebody who's going to fuck things up. So this is the point now where Jerry is like, why are you so drunk? And, Missy, dump this little maricon already and come kick it with me, right? And, Missy's like, not going to talk to him. Well, too bad, because I'm going to make sure you don't date nobody. Drake is defending her now, okay? This reminds me of, I think I was a little bit inspired. I'll tell you what inspired me to do this. I mean, these are based on people. Missy is based on Biani Zamora, who I tell you her name because she's not on social media. She's off the grid. And a girl named Letitia Garcia, which is a commonplace name. Um, these were girls I fell in love with, both of them, in grade school and college. Actually, high school and college. Um, so Jerry's like, who's based on Gabriel, and Drake is based on me. Um, so Jerry's gonna shoot. He's gonna shoot Drake because Drake is defending her. But Missy gets in front of Jerry. Jerry shoots, and Missy gets hit by the bullet. And Jerry kind of like, did I just fuck up? And Drake starts to get really angry, and he fights Jerry for the gun. He knees him in the chest. He gouges his eyes. Now Jerry can't see, and he fires a bullet. Okay, and the bullet hits a hole in the gas tank. He can't see, so he's got to get Missy out of there. And Jerry fires another bullet, makes a spark, and Jerry gets blown up with third-degree burns. And this is the fate that Jerry suffers. Uh, so it's one of those things that Jerry becomes a monster. He becomes a monster with third-degree burns. He loses his left eye. His jaw is unhinged. He looks like a zombie, right? That's the price he pays. Uh, Drake and Missy are having one last conversation. She cries a tear, and as she cries a tear, that's pretty much the end. And I'll show you the last part, in which Drake holds Missy in his arms, and that's sort of the end of the piece. I'm going to hold this up now, and it will be a little bit wobbly, but this will be all right. Overall, the story worked. Now, I was thinking about another story. Maybe I was inspired to do this way. If you remember, well, I'm going to spoil this for those of you who read Marvel Comics. There was a series called Origin. And when we think of Origin, we think of Whit Origin. But if you were about, let me think about this. I'm trying to think now. 1994. Let's say 1987. If you were about 30 years old, okay, at least 30, if you're about 30 years old now, you would remember the origin of Wolverine or James Howlett. But at the time you read the book, the first two books, or the first two comic books of the six-part series, you remember that James Howlett was not the cool kid called Doc. There was James Howlett, there was Rose, the pretty redhead, and then there was Dog, the son of the guy who the dad would beat up the son. The dad would physically abuse the son, and the son was a mean-spirited kid. Okay, and Dog was called Logan. The family of grounds workers, the groundskeepers for the Howlett family, because the Howletts were rich people, and James Howlett had allergies, and he looked like this sort of kind of flamboyant, kind of gay, not really gay, but he was flamboyant. He looked very upper crust, European kind of stuck up little kid, right? And then you see Dog, the cool kid who's mean spirited, right? And there's Rose. And when you looked at the first cover of Origin, you said, "Oh, it's got to be Dog. It's got to be Logan. Logan is Wolverine." But nobody realized Howlett. Howl, get it? Get the joke? Howlett. Howlett was Wolverine. So James Howlett became the Wolverine and killed Dog in a vicious fight when they became adults. When Wolverine got his powers, he was exiled from by his family to go live with the wolves in the wilderness. That's how he became Logan that we knew. He took Dog's name and became Logan. He became almost like Logan, except that he was a good guy and he wasn't a bad guy. He was trying to do good things. I'm saying all this now to explain that when Drake became dark and mean-spirited, he wasn't evil like Jerry, but he became a lot like Jerry. Jerry is where Drake will become. Jerry is sort of Drake looking into a mirror, saying the world is cynical, the world is mean, and there are mean-spirited and narcissistic, egotistical assholes out there. And maybe there are good people, But it's like, where's Waldo? You have to look for them. You can't just trust the first person you meet. And so when Drake loses Missy, when he loses his ideal girlfriend, that's the door opening up to cynicism and a little bit of Republican attitude, a little bit, but not leaning towards Republic, but not being a Republican, you know? Because Republicans, like, you know, we got guns, don't trust your neighbors, be careful of people around you, you know, arm yourselves. And Democrats want to open arms to everyone, right? So Drake is stuck in the middle, but he does lean towards that Republic because now he can't trust people. Because what if people shoot at him or shoot at people he cares about? So when you see Drake in the stories that I showed you back in 2000 for 2002 and 2003 a few weeks ago, Drake is this cynical guy who doesn't smile. He speaks in monotone, like this, sort of like this, because that's his tone. He speaks in monotone because that's who he is, because the world was a cruel place to him when he was a child. And even though Jerry is similar to Drake, Jerry is an immoral bastard. Jerry is sort of represents death and destruction. And Drake represents destruction only when it's inevitable, when there's no other way. But for Jerry, that's his first reaction. In real life, my cousin Gabriel resorted to destroying his own body, let the AIDS virus consume him because he couldn't figure out a way to live his life like a normal person. So he let the AIDS virus consume him. Whereas people like Magic Johnson and other people who have survived AIDS, I remember reading a guy who died of AIDS, but he died in a surfing accident. He was just careless, but the AIDS didn't kill him necessarily. He could have lived a full life. He could have lived to be 80 years old with AIDS. So when I look at my life and when I look at what I'm trying to do, I try to do what's right for me. But I've become a little bit like Gabriel. I've become a tough guy. I don't need to join a gang. I don't need to change my name to Dopey or Casper or Little Legs or Peanut or Pocket. And I don't need to be like a street rat. But I rely on being a street rat. I rely on being a tough guy. I rely on certain people to do things without having to break the law. So it's trying to find the balance between good and bad. That's what I do. And that's what Drake does. He's still a good guy, but he's not this happy-go-lucky, naive kid that he used to be. So I'm going to end it here. Next week, it will be another two-part series for 2005, featuring the origin of Rye and some of the other work I did from that year. And we're going to keep going until we get to my trilogy and some fan fiction that I did in the last few years. So this is Maestro Drake signing out. Be kind, be cruel, but be you, and have a good week.